Hey everyone, and welcome to Signals from the Frontline, your every Wednesday live broadcast brought to you by Frontline Gaming. We are your hosts, Kicker, the chief of cereal, and Situlite of the FLG. And I'm Seth, the Mad Doc, your competitive correspondent. Kicker, bud, how you been doing?
I am doing freaking fantastic. I got a haircut. It's nice.
I got one too,
You got a haircut too, right?
every
I,
2 days.
showered today. Life is good. I've also been painting nonstop because we have a little painting competition going on right now, Seth.
Mhm,
Who can get
mhm.
to 2,000 points first with a beautifully painted army? I think we're having two metrics, right? Getting to 2,000 points and having
Now we're gonna set metrics on
yeah,
air
yeah,
where,
yeah,
where
yeah.
I
We have to
can't
have.
fight
It's got to
you.
be objective. This has got
Oh,
to be fair, because we know
mhm,
you're a better painter
mhm.
and you generally paint faster than me. So I have to I don't know. I don't know. I'm screwed either way.
All
But
right.
yes,
Well, we'll
Seth,
find out.
we'll
Yeah,
find
we'll
out. We'll
figure out
find
the
out.
metrics.
If you are
But
listening
I
to our
believe.
podcast, yeah.
Go ahead.
Well,
Go
people are
ahead. You
listening to our
plug.
podcast. They're missing out on these wonderful visual elements of our show. Can we bring down my hobby progress, please? I am very proud of what I've been working on the past week. You should also listen to our show or watch our show live, so you get to be part of the chat. That's always fun. There we go, Seth. That is 20 of my warriors ready to go. I got to put some decals on there. I'm waiting for custom decals. That's my special sauce, man. I know you may be able to beat me on the painting, but I got like the hobby hacks. I got the tricks up my sleeve.
You do have the decals on.
Yeah.
I don't have any on mine yet.
Oh yeah, yeah. Can we show the next slide?
Yet.
I'm really proud of this next one right here, right? So this is like a little kit bash here. That's my medic. I gave him a little Aster Militarum Medi kit
Oh, that's
thing.
where you got that bit from.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's from the Scions, but I was able to cut it off, cut the hand off just
Just
perfect,
right.
and it fits very smoothly. So my medic
Nice.
stands out. What have you been up to, Seth? I know you've been
Well,
painting like a madman,
I
right?
also have been doing some hobbying, but
All right, all right.
I've been while I hobby, I've been on it's October, I've been on my horror movie kick. Um in the last week I've watched Freddy versus Jason, Halloween Kills, Friday the 13th part 8 and part 9. So
In
I've just
one
been having
week.
I've been having a blast with it. And I am firmly in the camp of Michael Myers is the best villain. I even loaded up some memery to support my
Oh, there we go.
opinion. We have the lovely Jamie Lee Curtis when people confuse Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees. Jason Voorhees is a horrible villain. He's just like it's probably the easiest acting job in Hollywood because you stand there and then you stab. You don't walk, you just stab.
Well, if you
Um,
guys are in chat, tell us what your favorite Halloween, haunted movie
yeah.
villain is. Apparently, Seth.
Tamagotchi got me. I am prepping for Halloween ends.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
It's next week, Kicker. You
Uh,
should come with me.
it sounds terrifying. I can't watch scary movies because I already get
I
scared enough without.
I tried doing Hellraiser last week, and I watched the first one, and I was like, man, that was really bad. And then I was like, man, I wonder if it gets better from here because there's like 8 movies in that franchise. No, I checked the Metacritic scores; they do not. I have reached the zenith of what that particular franchise had to offer.
But
So
Seth, Hellraiser's the guy with like the nails in his head or
yeah,
some shit,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
Pinhead.
What's his deal? Because I've not watched the
He's a
Hellraiser.
demon
He's a demon
of
that has
pleasure.
nails in his head. That's just
It's
his thing.
basically Slanesh.
Okay.
Pain is pleasure.
Oh, okay. Okay. There we go. All right. Well,
So
thank you.
anyway,
That's what we got.
so it's chaos.
All
It's
right.
the chaos
But
cult the movie.
we have to
Um,
focus on the really
yeah,
important thing here.
yeah.
What have you
I do have
done?
some hobby progress.
Yeah.
We can pop that up. I only finished 10 Hearthkin Warriors, but
Lazy.
you can
You're
see
watching
them
too much
here in
TV,
all
man.
their glory. Maybe,
Can we see this
pretty
probably
soon.
progress here?
Pretty
Look at
soon.
this.
There
Oh,
we go.
okay. There we go.
Yeah, and I still have the crystals magnetized,
Mhm.
so we're all looking pretty sweet. And then Kicker, to prove to you and the fans that I am a longtime Votann player, I painted up this guy. Our next slide here.
Original Voltan player. Right?
Yeah,
Oh
look at that. Look
wow.
at that original
No way.
1987 vote squat with a melt-a-gun, folks.
Do we have a side by
Boom.
side? I'm so
No,
curious.
we do not. I
Okay,
should get that.
we need
But
to
he's
see the
much
scale
shorter.
creep here. Yeah,
He's
right.
much shorter.
That is
And
beautiful.
then just to keep going,
Yeah.
I actually did an orc model. So that is the orc enclosed cab truck from Forge World. So I've had that kit laying around, and I just kind of in between painting phases did that one.
I
So
mean, is
got-
that a flex right there? You're like, I'm gonna Kicker's ass regardless, so I can paint a few orcs in between.
yeah, exactly.
All right, fine, fine.
Yeah,
Well, I
that's
believe that.
I am trying to go to an event at the end of this month, and I'm not going to have my Votann painted in time, so I'm still playing orcs. So I got to get them painted up.
You got to get them painted. Well,
Yeah.
at the end of this little competition, we will be having some amazing celebrity paint judges critique us and maybe give us
Oh,
advice.
yeah.
maybe give you a lot of advice, Seth, because I'm going to kick your
Wow,
ass.
wow,
Right?
wow! Give
Right?
me a lot of advice. Okay, I see how it is
No,
here.
no, no. Honestly, dude, your stuff as always looks really good. I'm excited to see how we take the same exact basic army and
Mhm.
how it looks totally different on the
Yeah, and taking different
tabletop.
directions. All right,
Have you
Victor,
been
get us
building those
into the industry
pioneers?
news. What? I
Have you been?
built one set of pioneers. I haven't painted them yet. We were
Can,
actually texting about it.
yeah,
I'm gonna. I built. I have 6 sets of pioneers.
six
Uh,
sets.
yeah, I
Oh,
have
jeez.
18
Yeah,
pioneers.
you're going all in. All right, all right.
I. Well, it's a small enough range that getting 3 of everything isn't that hard
Yeah, but
yet.
did you
Um,
not want to like stab yourself after building the first three? Because I was
no, I
not
love
enjoying
building
it.
them. I love
Really?
building models.
No, no.
That's the most
I like
relaxing part
building
to me.
models, but those are little demons. Like, man, I hated
Eh,
building the pioneers. I think the models look great. Once again, there's another example where the GW models look way better in person than the photos. Like, I saw the photos, I was nope, not excited. But after building the first set, I'm like, I love these models. Just hated the building process. Getting the guy with the I guess the cloak that's hanging over the sides to fit in just perfectly. So
it's
I don't know.
easy.
I struggle. It's easy for you.
It was not hard for me to build. We were talking about actually painting them. Um,
Yeah,
I
if we're gonna
didn't do them in
sub-assemble
sub
it.
assemblies,
Yeah.
so I'm just gonna paint up that set of 3 and see how they go. And if I absolutely hate painting them fully assembled, I'll do them in sub assemblies. But I did figure out how to magnetize the gun on the heavy weapon one.
Oh, really? Really,
Hmm.
really?
Hmm.
You're gonna have to do a little side video for that or something because I'm sure a lot
Hmm.
of people are curious. But
Yeah.
in general, let's just be clear though. In general, everyone's taking the high las rotary, right? Because that's the cool kid gun. The other guns
Oh yeah.
seem, yeah. There's no reason to take the beamer yet.
Do
Um,
you want 9 shots?
yeah.
Because you can have
Yes.
9
Yes.
shots.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Do it.
Let's jump into some new product talk.
Yeah.
There's nothing too crazy this week, guys, but it looks like one of my friends sent me a text message with a photo. It looks like Joy Toy is releasing Tau. Joy Toy are making those super realistic
Yeah.
action figures. They've got some orcs, they've got some chaos, they've got space marines, guard, and now Tau, which makes sense. Joy Toy, I believe, is a Japanese company. The whole,
Is
yeah.
No, I think Joy Toy is the one that just did all the super realistic Space Marines. I
Maybe it's not.
think.
It's not
I think it's
Japanese.
McFarlane that does the orcs.
Oh, no,
They
Joy
also do.
Toy has orcs too. Yeah, definitely. They don't have as many. Google this. If you're right now on your computer, Google this.
I
Joy
am.
Toy's Warhammer line is just like grown out of nowhere. They have all the vehicles, right? They have the dreadnoughts and all that fun stuff. But what's really cool is they actually have orcs, and they have Are you
Damn
looking at
it!
the orcs?
This is going to cost me a lot more
They
money,
have a
isn't it?
knob riding a squig. All right, how cool is that, right? So
This
yeah,
is going to cost me a lot more
yeah.
money now.
Yeah. And it's like, it's like $120 for the knob on Squig. Now, most of this is not really not in person. You got to pre-order it. It'll be coming out this winter. But check out the Joy Toy action figure range for Warhammer. Yeah, there we go. Boom, right there on our screen. It's
Oh man.
ridiculously not talked
Oh
about. Like, how
man.
are people not flipping out about these cool action figures? So
This
so
is this is
yeah,
a problem.
yeah, they have commandos, dude. They have a bunch of commandos.
I
It's
know. I
yeah,
know.
right,
Oh
right.
crap.
And the the backpacks and all that stuff comes off the commandos. It's fully posable. Yeah, there we go. There's the knob on the
Yeah.
squig made by
No,
Joy
I
Toy.
see him. I see
So it
him.
looks like there is going to be Tau, which is of course going to involve the suits and probably some infantry. So keep your eyes open for that. We're going to jump over to Battle Foam. Battle Foam's released a Kill Team, I guess, set of foam that you can put into your foam box that you get with the Kill Team set, which is it's a pretty nice little setup. So basically, you can keep all your Kill Team terrain and the miniatures associated with it perfectly organized. And I thought that was a pretty innovative little creation. We've also got some super sweet stuff happening with the Warhammer Plus thing. I don't know. I don't
Mhm.
actually have a Warhammer Plus account, but I was kind of. Do you have a Warhammer Plus account, Seth?
I do.
You do. Okay.
Mhm.
First of all, best show to watch. What is like if I'm going to watch one show?
I really like the Exodite show. It's
Yeah.
only like 3 episodes, unfortunately, but
Mm.
it was really interesting because it was about basically like an Eldar Exodite. Like Tau and Imperium are fighting, brah, and the Tau keep trying to negotiate with the Imperium, and the Exodite keeps executing all the
Oh,
negotiators.
jeez. Wow. Cool. But is it really a show? It's more like a mini series at that point, right? Like
Yeah,
three
no,
episodes.
I enjoyed it. They definitely left off on a cliffhanger. So
Yeah.
like, there's plenty more
More
to
to
be
come.
covered,
Cool. Cool.
and so I'm like, I want more of that.
Well, check this out. Warhammer has all these amazing licensing deals, and I guess they're using Warhammer Plus to kind of offer some of these I just partnerships that let people try them out. So if you like Warhammer Total War and you have Warhammer Plus, guess what? You can start getting some awesome content for that video game. I think you're gonna be able to get some ogre characters for free or whatnot. So I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
Warhammer 3 is a very big game, so
yeah.
I'm sure extra characters are great. It's almost too big for me at this point.
Really?
It's so much because you can combine it with the first game and the second game and have like a billion races and a billion characters. Someone in chat, Ayla,
Yeah.
is asking if we can see the chat. Yes, we can see the chat.
Seth, what's going on in the chat?
And then
Anything?
there's this person called Adam Camilleri, and it
That's
says,
brilliant.
"Why was my face on the last show? Someone tell me." Adam, sometimes we just want to feel close to you.
Yeah, yeah. Our marketing, department just finds some random, photos and throws it on. Oh, oh.
Which one of us is on the
Wait,
right
am I
to
the
the
right or the
viewers?
left?
I think Kicker's the right.
I don't know, but you're.
I think Kicker's the right.
Oh,
I
I don't
think
know.
of the two of us.
You're the
You're
two
on
of
the
us?
right, bud.
I don't know, man. You're pretty cute, so yeah. But
I
whatever.
know.
Whoever gets it. Thank you for the compliments, people. All right, let's keep on going, guys. What's happening with Underworlds? Have you played Underworlds? I know you haven't played the recent one, Seth, but the new Gnarl Woods thing is coming out, and that's a full set, everything you need. I've been told by very informed sources that the new box set is going to be the one to jump on. Like if you kind of thought about playing before, this new set is kind of like Kill Team, revamped and awesome and ready to play right out the box. And we'll probably be having Warhammer Underworlds actually at SoCal. We have the tournament there, but we're gonna have some free play on Friday before.
That'd be cool.
Roll dice.
It really does feel like a good beer and pretzels game to me.
Yeah. Well, it's supposed to be like, the funny thing is Warhammer Worlds is supposed to be the really competitive game made by Games Workshop. Like it's designed to be super balanced and it has
I guess I say beer and pretzels because it's so much shorter.
Okay.
Like a round of it's like 3 turns.
You can
when
literally
I played it.
break, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
All right. Seth, we should probably talk about something super special. Can we talk about something super special? Like
Yep. Something hot off the presses.
Yeah, drum roll, guys. Frontline Gaming, known for their amazing terrain, is finally making. There we go. That's a pretty good drum roll, Seth. I appreciate it.
Right.
There we go. Frontline Gaming, guys, known for their terrain. Their mats is making Marvel Crisis Protocol terrain. It is gorgeous. I can show you a sneak peek. No one else has ever seen this. It's the first time you're ever going to see it. Wow, there you go. Boom, beautiful. It looks a lot like a normal, I guess, everyday Americana terrain. Just normal gas stations and banks, and kind of like the MCP. I guess the Asmoj or AMG manufactured terrain, except ours is way more affordable and comes pre-painted. So
nice.
Yeah. We're pretty excited. There's going to be a full range of this stuff. If you are going to SoCal at the end of this month, we will have at least one, probably 2 tables, so you can test this brand new terrain out, and it is fun. Marvel Crisis Protocol is a fun game because you get to interact with the terrain in a way that you don't do with most other miniature games. So
I've heard a lot about it, but I guess I haven't really handled a lot of MCP models or terrain. Yeah. How much different is it scale wise than 40K model size?
I think the scale is pretty on point, but it's just thematically it's really just current day. So you can't use your Octarius Kill Team terrain for MCP. It just doesn't fit the vibe. But the scale is I think it's a little smaller scale, but not like you could still get away with. If you had 40K terrain and you want to try MCP, you could definitely get away with it for now.
Okay.
But half the reason we play these games, right, is for that cool cinematic, immersion. All right, Seth. I guess we I don't have anything too crazy to talk about for the Frontline Gaming events. I mean, we have SoCal coming up at the end of the month, which is great. That's gearing up to be a really solid event. I was kind of like, oh, are we going to top next year? Yeah, we're growing from last year. I mean. I also wanted to drop this little, I guess, bit of excitement. We did get 3 pallets in of high roller product that if you got a pallets from one person and these are all going in the high roller bags. So I kind of hinted at it a couple weeks back, but I can't get excited till I see the actual pallets in the warehouse. And let's just say you're probably going to need you're going to need to check a bag to get back home once you have your high roller bag. So just bear that in mind, folks. There are no more high roller bags available for sale on the website, but there will be a lot of stuff to buy at LVO. And Frontline Gaming can ship them for you if you ask very, very nicely. But don't ask me because I have no idea how the shipping handles.
You can ask Kicker and then give him some cereal, and he'll point you to the people that can actually do it.
Yes, yes. I will be taking cereal throughout the LVO. I am quite hungry, and I have friends coming in from around the world that have promised me delicacies from their foreign lands. So, in the form of cereal.
Cereal delicacies.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes, dude. No, seriously. Uh, Seth, why don't you take us into the FLGN and what's going on? Anything
Yeah.
interesting happening?
So this week we had a Valisode over at
Palisade.
Grim After Dark to be differentiated from a Dickisode. I enjoy the Valisodes because Val's always got some good banter. I can remember back to his formative years on Chapter Tactics and even before that on Forge the Narrative. So it's good to hear him behind the mic
It
now and
is,
then.
and also
You
you
know,
can say Valisode as many times as you want, not like Dickisode, which had the FCC calling us a few times last week. So
it's true. So Valisode is totally censor friendly, so no problems there. And I got an apology from Grim Kicker.
oh, really? An
Yeah,
apology? It was said
after I threatened that I told everyone to go hug them, they
in
apologized.
mid-game.
So apparently that's all you got to do is just threaten to hug John, and then he
Apparently, John and
apologizes.
Danny
So
do not like being hugged. All right.
Danny didn't apologize.
Oh.
He said he did nothing wrong. So I've got to figure out what gets to him.
Hey, I don't want to
Um,
segue too much, but on the Frontline Gaming community group on Facebook, we do this, work in progress Wednesday. There's a
mhm.
community guy. This guy's not a Frontline Gaming staff member. He's just a really nice human being that likes to get everyone pumped about sharing their hobby progress. And every Wednesday, in the group, people share their photos. It's really nice. It kind of keeps you in check, keeps you accountable. And Danny posted some beautiful models on there. I was really impressed. So yeah,
why are
Danny,
we
good
telling
job,
it?
man. Very proud of your Votann
Why are
there.
we telling him good things?
Because I'm
I'm
trying
trying
to.
to figure out how to get under his skin,
Okay.
and you're over here complimenting him.
I'm just a genuinely nice human being. All right, Seth. What else is happening on the FLG? And anything else we want to discuss? I mean, yeah.
That's about it. You can all check out the Thursday show. The lovely Adam Camilleri, who's in chat and confused as to why he was used as a thumbnail in the previous weeks. You can find him there along with the rest of the Thursday crew.
Yeah, they did an
Uh,
amazing episode last week going into
yeah,
the LGT. I really
mhm.
enjoyed the in-depth coverage of that.
They do a
I
lot.
th- I think the Thursday show really needs to do every now and then like a recap of these major events. Just maybe just a 10-minute segment of, hey, what went down at the LGT?
An early Thursday show,
An early Thursday show. Oh, so
or a Tuesday edition of the Thursday show.
the Thursday show,
Mhm.
Tuesday edition. I love it.
We're getting some feedback from a mysterious restream voice that says "Stay in your lane, kicker."
Oh, okay. All right. Fine. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I guess that's the producer there
I
telling
don't
me
know
to.
where that came
I'm
from.
not. I'm
It's
not.
just the internet said "Stay in your lane, man."
Guys,
Who
I'm
knows
just
who
a
said
talking
that?
head. I'm not creative at all. Let's just focus back on on reading our notes.
Well, someone wants you to stand up to see your height.
Oh,
I got news for Ayla.
that's me and my tippy
He
toes.
is standing.
Yeah, legit people. I actually have a standing desk. I'm at right
He's a
now.
hobbit.
Yeah, I am. I
He's my
am.
lovely little hobbit.
Yes, I am.
There's a
Hobbit
reason we
rat.
go by the term Shrek and Donkey.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I am okay with it. I'm very okay with it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Let's hit the main segment.
Let's do it.
Kicker. I don't know if you noticed, but there's been an emergency FAQ of the Votann.
That's unprecedented.
The
Has this ever happened before?
the book was out like in the special army box for like less than a week
Mhm.
legal street date,
5 days.
and GW had released a FAQ 5 days post release. There was a lot of buzz that the book was very strong. A lot of people that had early access to the book uh, had played it in advance. Excuse me,
We also did
and
a
had
huge leak, well in advance.
yeah,
So
there was a
everyone
big
has to know
leak.
the rules.
There was the previewers, the people that previewed that. You could, from the previewers, basically get basically all the rules you needed to play a game, and it was very, very strong. I myself played a few games in advance, and it was very, very strong. So they did a few adjustments. They did Eye of the Ancestors, which is their rule for judgment tokens where a 6 or a 5 or a 4 to hit auto wounds.
Yeah.
They turned that into instead of counting as a 6 to wound, which triggered a lot of certain guns and stratagem mechanics, they just turned it into just counting as a wound.
Yeah.
So that prevents things like the Magna Rails from the wound spilling over, or the Ion Strat from dealing a bunch of automatic mortal wounds. And then they basically increased the points on everything. And I went through and
Everything.
actually checked it, but every single thing got their points increased. Importantly, though, GW didn't just drop this FAQ into the environment and walk away. They actually had a whole article explaining their decision making here. They actually had a nice little fun parody video with James Workshop
The
kind of
video
joking
is
around.
let's
Yeah,
give him credit, man. That video was well done. It was
yeah.
funny, but
They
also apologetic.
It was, and I personally would rather them do this right now, fix it 5 days post release, than to wait, because the quote that I took from them, they point out that the reason they dropped the FAQ now, before the full range is released, before you can get the codex and all the models outside the army box, is so that you know what you're buying when you try to buy a full 2,000 point army. Um, I think that's a strong move for them, because everyone's always saying that GW makes broken rules to sell models. And if that was really the case, they wouldn't have FAQ'd this book 5 days post drop.
Yeah, and I mean, let's remember they haven't even released the majority of the army, right? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, there's none
Like
of the vehicles are
they
out.
they they were about to be able to sell land fortresses faster than they could print them.
Mhm.
And they upped the points on a land fortress by 70 points.
Yeah,
Went from 230 to 300.
yeah.
So they are actively working towards game balance and not necessarily sales in this scenario. So I think that's important for us to recognize and commend them for. I do know that there are some salty Votann players, and I pulled my favorite salty Votann player meme for everyone, because they dove in on the army, and before they could even get the models fully built and painted, GW's already nerfed the army. Um, Look, man, if you're jumping into this army on release, you're doing it because, or you should be doing it because you like the models and you like the lore of a new army. Um, Buying in heavily on any army immediately at release is a recipe to be disappointed.
And Seth, it's like that with a lot of things in life, right? Not
Yeah,
just toy soldiers, but like you
I'm
buy a
still
new
waiting
car, a
for our
first
producer to
generation
put up my
car.
lovely meme.
All right, look at that. A first generation car, a first generation phone. There's always going to
Yeah,
be those weird, issues that are going to have to get updated so that the second generation, third
yeah.
generation suddenly get better. I mean,
I
yeah.
when Iron Hands were real
Mhm.
broke, before they had gotten any FAQs in 8th edition, I had bought 3 Repulsor Executioners, and they nerfed them, and I still ended up playing 3 Repulsor
Yeah.
Executioners. They weren't as good, um, but I kind of knew that risk going in, that if I buy a bunch of this stuff, there's a good chance they're going to change it, and then I might have a bunch of plastic that just sits around, which is fine. If you're a collector and you're building the army, it's a big deal. If, okay, cool, that unit's not good anymore, well, I'm still going to have it around. One day it'll be good again. I like how it looks on my shelf. It was a fun model to build or paint, etc. So um, I don't really think it was a bad call on GW's part. What do you think?
I think that the reaction quickly was perfect, man. I mean, I thought about it a lot, right? We've had a week to think about it, and I'm like, you
Mhm.
know what? At the end of the day, I'm glad they made decisions quickly, as opposed to suddenly get to this tournament scene and there's just nothing but 8 Voltan in the top 8. Like that's just not fun. What
Yeah.
I do think is a little interesting is that I don't want to use the word reckless, but it was a very like it was like point cost. Everything goes up. I felt
Mhm.
like clearly some units don't need to go up. I mean, like the what is it, the heavy weapon guys? Come on,
The Thunderkin.
the Thunderkin and then the Terminator equivalents. Like that was a
Oh
really
god.
heavy-handed point increase. I think that it could have been a little bit more of a gradual point increase to find that balance, but I guess it's easier to just totally kick him in the balls and then slowly get them back on their feet
Yeah.
as opposed
I
to.
I was in a lot of conversations before it came out about how would you nerf Votann, and the problem is they have sort of like AdMech, where they have a lot of interconnecting rules and
Yeah.
synergies, and it's not an easy like thing to say this rule changes and that rule changes and this rule changes and that balances the army out. So I really thought the only way to balance the army was just to
Yeah.
jack up points.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Um,
But
and
Seth, the judgment token thing, right? I mean, I didn't
Mhm.
want to go there, but I guess we got to, right? We're talking about it. The judgment token thing that directly goes against a lot of the important elements of the book. I mean, suddenly now you don't roll the wound, and so many of the strats involve, wounds
there's
of
like only one strat, the
the
ion
strat.
strat.
Well, okay, so it's not that. Okay, so there's a
Yeah.
few.
I think there was 4 things total in the codex that were affected by it.
but those were, I guess, the four things everyone was talking about. I mean,
No,
do you think that,
I think there's the beam rules are still very strong, and I think are probably still one of the strongest things, and they were one of the strongest things before the nerf. They're still one of the strongest things.
Yeah.
I don't think the auto wounding it helped the Magna rails, but like, let's be honest, there's other ways to get an auto 6. If you really want a Magna rail to get a 6 to wound, you take Uthar the Destined,
Guilty.
you shoot at something that doesn't have a grudge or judgment token on it, you hit, and then you say it counts as 6 to wound. Boom, there you go.
Yeah.
Or what you do is, all right, I'm putting all my small arms fire from my Hearthkin unit. They're going to go shoot a bunch of infantry that have a bunch of judgment tokens on them. And then I'm going to take my magma rails and I'm just going to fish for 6s on that vehicle over there. But it doesn't really matter if I get a 6 because I always ignore invulns. And I'm doing multi-damage to a multi-wound target.
And Seth, realistically, that's more how the Magna Rail is supposed to work, right? It's not supposed to be, killing out a squad of infantry with one shot because you're able to basically force feed a 6. It's designed to take out big vehicles and whatnot. So I guess that is more cinematic, right? Or more realistic in this unrealistic game. Seth, but the points though, man. Okay, so you're okay. You, Seth, are personally okay with the judgment rule. What about the points in general? Do you think some of the points were a little unwarranted or too much? I mean, you pay attention way more than I do.
Well, it's kind of, it looks like sort of a flat increase, a lot of things across the board.
Yeah.
I think, there's a lot of things that are still really good for their points. Like Hearthkin at 12 points a model, they're the only troop choice, but they're still a really good troop choice for 12 points a model. Yeah. I even think the land fortress at 300 is still viable. It might not be that you get 3 in a list anymore. You might just get 2.
Yeah.
But it's still really good. I personally really like Berserkers and Sagittar. They went up a good chunk of points, but I basically went from a list that had 30 Berserkers and 6 Sagittar to 25 Berserkers and 5 Sagittar. It wasn't a huge knockdown. I also got rid of an extra unit of Hearthkin I wasn't using, but it still has a really strong damage output for that army. The things that I don't understand, I know some people were really, really hot on Hearthguard and them going up 10 points a model. I think you're right that I wasn't seeing those in a lot of the early lists.
450 points for a 10-man squad. That's just too much.
I don't think anyone was running Thunderkin in mass, so I think those just kind
of
got caught up.
My bad.
No, I said Hearthguard first, but now I'm moving on to Thunderkin.
Okay.
I think I didn't see anyone running those in mass, so I think those were just kind of a baseline % increase that the entire book got. And the champion going up 20 points, I was also a little surprised about. Yeah. He's a good character, but he is not immediately broken combos hurl him into things and they explode. He's good, but he's not that good to go up 20 points. So I was surprised to see him to get a bigger bump than things like the Call got, because the Call is a really good character.
Yeah.
So,
well,
anyway.
We know they're constantly going to be analyzing this new army. We'll probably see an adjustment in a few months from now before LVO.
I think the army is still very strong, particularly if fast forwarding, there's a balanced data slate that maybe hammers down on some of the more aggressive builds that are out there. I think Votann are still very strong. Could very well end up being kind of top of the meta, even with the adjustments we've seen here.
Yeah. Do you think anything at this point is not playable in the army? Is there anything we just got to, this is not, you're not going to see this on the table?
I don't know. I mean, you have to work to make the Thunderkin work, I think. Mm-hmm. But I don't think they're unplayable. I think there's things that are more optimum than them in the Codex, but I think you could play, if you really love Thunderkin, you could run an army of them. If you love Hearthguard and you just want to pay out the nose for them, you could run a bunch of them. I think there's options there. I think you have to keep in mind, if these profiles were in any other book, we would be all about them.
Yeah.
Some Crush and Fool in chat is or not Crush and Fool, Hider Thor is saying, 45 points for 2 wounds apiece. If I could have those guns with that armor save at 45 points and a ballistic skill 3 and an orc army, I would do it every day.
What's a Mega Knob running you? I know it's 3
wounds. Mega Knob
yeah.
is 40 points. It's 3 wounds. But its shooting sucks.
But it's way better in close combat, right? I mean,
but it moves 5 inches.
Yeah, okay. Well, these move 5 inches too. These move
5 inches and shoot your butt from across the board.
they can shoot your butt. They can shoot your butt. Seth, I think that, I guess one of the things I am kind of concerned about is the army is let's just call it balance. Let's just use the term balanced or more fair now. But
I'll go more fair.
more fair,
I don't
more
know if
fair
I'll
now.
go balanced,
The
but more
army is
fair.
more fair now. I mean, you don't think this is a top tier army at this point? I mean, come
I
on,
do. I
you
do
do.
think that this army, I think once we have the full range out for this army and people have caught up hobby progress wise, I think you're going to see this topping the meta.
Well, I guess we'll find out. It's SoCal. We won't have vehicles, unfortunately,
Yeah.
or any other stuff. But
Yeah. A lot of events are kind of going in the same way that SoCal has gone, which is if the actual model is out, you're good. You can play that or play whatever conversions of that model you get approved by your TO. If the model's not out for real yet, you can't do a conversion.
and the reason
So,
is because we can't, know what the size is
yeah,
of the model. We can
exactly.
speculate,
Yeah.
but we need the conversion to be the
Yeah.
appropriate size and whatnot.
Exactly. And so I think we're because of that slow rollout, you might have kind of the the slow boil with the frog in the pot scenario where at first we're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
like, you see him doing well, but you're not like, this is crazy, but like
yeah.
it slowly creeps up on you versus like if it had a full range out right away. Kelsey has a great comment that I have to repeat for you, Kicker.
Do it.
Team Panda Farts will shoot your butt.
Panda farts. I love it. Someone was watching last week.
It
Team
was
Panda Farts. Yes. If you missed out on Panda Farts, go back and watch last week's episode. You'll be enlightened. Uh,
enlightening is definitely the term I would use for Panda Farts.
um, but Seth, while a lot of these armies have a pretty good secondary game. We look at Necrons right now, right? I
Mhm.
think the secondary game, even the primary game, really is going to be a bit challenging for this army. So that's kind of how I felt like you had
Yeah, I mean, we're
yeah.
spinning off into game theory a little
All
bit
right, all
here,
right, all right.
but
Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
well, no, I'm happy because I'm happy to chat about it. We're not too far behind tonight. Um, so there's basically there's two schools of thought right now in how to play ninth edition, and they frequently get called solitaire and unga bunga.
Okay,
Solitaire is
it's-
I'm going to sit on my side of the board. I'm going to try not to interact with you, and I'm going to try to score 90 to 100 points. Necrons do that a lot. Eldar do that a lot. Sisters do that a lot.
all right, let's get to Unga Bunga though. This one sounds way more
Unga
fun.
Bunga is I'm going to come across the board and table you. And then whatever I score is great because you don't exist.
Yeah, you don't exist. So yeah,
And a lot of armies like Tau are doing a lot of that anymore. Like Thomas Ogden is on a tear I don't know that we have seen in some time. And the man basically either like tables you or gets tabled. That's his only two results. And he's lost one tournament game this edition, or not this edition, this year. So very much all it. And I think when I say this because I think Votann is an Unga Bunga army. Their secondaries, you're right, don't really allow for you to play really cagey and trading with your opponent. You're just like, look, I'm coming out, I'm gonna shoot everything you have, and you're gonna die. And then whatever else you bring out, I'm gonna shoot that too.
yeah,
That's gonna
basically.
die.
Yeah.
And then I don't have to worry about scoring primary, or I can score primary without the threat of you killing me because you're dead. And whatever I scored on my primaries is probably more than what you scored on your primary because you're dead.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very much just coming at you with maximum aggression.
Well, okay, so Votann or Unga Bunga, I guess we'll be seeing them soon. I know that I was looking at the SoCal list. There's, elite people like coming to SoCal, and people I know that what they're bringing. Quite a few people are bringing Votann, but it's just infantry. That's and some bikes. But
I mean, it still could be really strong because all of that infantry and like the Hearthkin and the Pioneers, that's all OBSEC.
Yeah, and those Pioneers are good. I mean, those.
And if they run Greater Thurian, they count as double models.
Yeah,
so it's double OBSEC.
Good point. Yeah. So yeah, they can win the primary game possibly.
Yeah.
Seth, also because we are just talking about SoCal, might as well say this right now, guys. The FAQ form is up right now. You can see the link on our Facebook
get
community
your questions
group.
in.
Yeah, now you can get your questions in regarding rules, and only for like that's how you get your rules answered for SoCal. After SoCal, you'll be able to you'll see those same form go up
for
LVO.
instance, if you had a question about, say, I don't know, crew for an artillery piece is counting as a model or not, and whether or not that can count, I would probably put that in there.
We got to preface this. All right, guys, we didn't do it earlier because we weren't sure if it was faux pas to bring this up. We're just going to do it right now. The Jank of the week. Seth, tell people what this week's Jank is.
This week's Jank of the week is brought to you by some high level, high profile players, we'll call it, from the LGT, that there was an argument started over the crew on an artillery piece. Did they count as models or not? Because they don't have a profile. Like the best thing I could equate to, since I play orcs, is a mech gun has 5 Gretchen with it, but the mech gun rule says you don't draw a line of sight, you don't draw range or anything to that Gretchen model. You use the gun for everything. And the player was arguing that the crew that don't count for line of sight or measurement were still physically there, so you couldn't place your model to charge his gun platform, which is it's
So
BS.
unchargeable
That's
gun
really
platform.
that's if that's not directly cheating, that is angle shooting to the billiards degree, I think. So yeah, that sparked a situation between 2 players where they literally got into an argument about what the score was at the end of the game, and the judges told them very bluntly that you have X amount of time to submit a score so that the rest of the event can proceed. And those players could not agree, and they ended up both getting a 0 and taking an L that round because
Oh,
they refused to agree and were holding up the tournament for that's a 700 plus person tournament.
yeah. You
Like
can't
those 2
hold up.
guys were arguing and holding up 688 or 98 people's,
Yeah.
next
You
round. That was
cannot
kind of
hold up a tournament. We got a schedule to keep, guys.
exactly. And the judges told you what to do. And you got to follow the judge rules. That's plain and simple, guys. You don't like the answer the judge gives you, there are methods. You can, if you're, some tournaments have head judges and lower rank judges. If you're in such, you can always ask for a head judge ruling. But once you get that ruling, that's that.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, most of the head judges I know are going to back up their other judges, so they're probably not going to change that ruling. So you just got to go with what you got. And if you have an edge case question like that, trying to use support weapon battery crewmen to block charges, I would probably put that in as a question for the rules team
Ask in
here for
advance.
our events, like SoCal, so you get that in writing in advance,
Yes.
so that you can have that in the ready and know how you're supposed to be playing it.
Yeah, yeah. And so, obviously it's important for SoCal. As soon as SoCal's done, literally the following week, we open it up for LVO, where we know we'll have many, many
Mhm.
questions flooding us. But that's good. We want those questions in advance. Seth,
Sorry, I
do we
didn't hear
want?
you, producer, right there. Oh, do you want you want to read them yourself? Oh, okay. What the
I have
heck
no
happened
idea
to
what's going
Kicker?
on. I just phased out. I
Oh,
don't know.
geez.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, the top 10. We can have
guys,
producer
let's
Val
jump
read
into
that for us.
the ITC then, right? And let's discuss our competitive top comp. I can't speak. A competitive copy. Stop. My dog's
Let's
speaking.
get into our ITC recap
Thank
for
you,
the
Seth.
week.
Sorry, my dog's got this really annoying squeak toy, and it just makes me giggle, and I apologize.
It's really that you got the panda farts again.
I have the panda farts. That's the problem. Don't need a Panda Express. All right, Seth, take it away. Or Val, take it away. Who's who wants to read the comp track?
I might have ruined it. I just threw it out there that I would do it, and so
Yeah.
now I've got to get it. They can hear me now. They can hear me
Okay.
Okay,
I
good.
have
They can
no
hear
idea
you.
what's going on.
Well, I have all 10 in the images for you, Sir Val, head of the network, floating and disembodied head of the network.
Well, I'm
You just got to
trying
bring it
figure
up
out-
on screen.
Yeah, that's the problem I'm having right now. So yeah, just having a great time here, guys.
Well, I can read them so
Aha!
visual aid. Oh, we got it.
All right, here we
got
go.
it. All right.
No, we want this one. Warhammer 40K. Top
That's
of the
hobby
pops.
track.
Oh, damn it. So smooth, guys.
There
So
we go.
smooth. My mistake. All right, here we go. First, in the Warhammer 40K ITC rankings, we got Vic VJ, second place. Jack Harpster still hanging in there. 3, David Gaylord. In fourth place, we got Colin McDade. 5th, Thomas Ogden. 6th, Manny Chima. 7th, John Lennon. Nice to see you up there, pal. 8th, Nassim Fouchain. 9th, Ennis Wilson. That must be a mistake. And 10th, Mike Porter.
Definitely seems like a clerical mistake, but it looks like Jack Harpster was only hold on to the top spot for 1 week there before Vic
Come on,
reclaimed the top for the Europeans.
Hey, who actually won the LGT?
Yeah, do we know who won the LGT?
It was a guy named Andrew. I actually don't remember his last name, but it was Nassim and Andrew were in the finals.
Oh wow, cool.
So
But
Nassim
this
had a great run. Nassim jumped on Tau 2 weeks ago
Oh wow,
and made it to the finals of LGT.
that's impressive. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this week's comp track does not take into account LGT yet. Then I'm assuming.
No, it does.
It does. Oh, okay, cool.
I think it does. I assume that's how Vic got up there. I can go look.
Yeah. Cool. What's happening
Val,
with the hobby track?
Take it away.
All right, we're going on to the hobby track. We got Jacob Thayer in first, Dean Pritchard following it up, Derek Page in third, Aaron Kelman, and Lou Rollins rounding out the top 5. Shall we just keep on going to AOS because we have no pictures?
Sure.
Yep.
Let's do it.
We're going to Age of Sigmar. We're going through the whole top 10 here. It's our friend. It's our pal. It's Gavin Griegar, followed by Anthony Trentinelli, Jeremy Vissiere, Matt Beasley. That's why I wanted to do this, so I could say Beasley again. Fifth place is Ridge Hanna. We're going top 10 here. Sixth place, Thomas Guan. What's Guanin? Seventh, Caleb Walters. Eighth, Zach Kennedy. Ninth, Emma Mangles. And 10th, Michael Vaginos? Vaginos.
Sorry, can we just
Kickers giggling. Kickers giggling.
Hold on.
What?
We have hot info here.
Oh.
Chat, let me know. I can confirm that the LGT scores are into the ITC scores.
Okay.
I was checking that for Vic, but Alexandre Sacco, who is a French player, would you like to know how many ITC scores Alexandre has?
I mean,
Going 1.
2, 3,
2.
2.
One is the LGT Monday RTT pods, where he came in 9th place. And then his other score is the LGT main event, where he took first.
Wow.
Now,
So
I have
where
been
has
told
this
that
player
the
been?
French.
Where is this?
I have been told that the French don't do a lot on BCP, and BCP is what feeds the ITC rankings.
Yeah.
So it may be that he's been. I would like to know more if folks could get in touch, but I assume that he's been playing pretty heavily in France, and just because they don't do a lot on BCP, we just haven't seen his data, so to speak, get out there.
Do we know if he's on the WTC team for France?
If he's not, he better damn well be after this.
Right? Jeez, yeah. Cool. Should we get the Age of Sigmar hobby track?
Age of Sigmar hobby track coming in hot and fresh. We're leading it off with Robert Schneider. Second place, Ricky Fisher. Third place, Matt Beasley. Fourth place, Jeremy Williams. Fifth place, Evan Markham. Russ Standard, Nick Garcia, Anthony Trentinelli, Gareth Thomas, and Matthew Barker rounding out the top 10. And I'm out.
All right.
Thank you, Sir Val.
And chat points out that I'm assuming it's Alexandre. He dropped from the Monday RTT because he was in the finals. So that 9th place score he has is just because he dropped. So like he has one real I finished a tournament score. So
wow.
How do we get him to the LVO?
We need to get this guy at the LVO. Come on, dude. Come on down to the LVO. Play with all of us. It'll be fun.
We'll make. I know Nassim's coming. Nassim can be your English translator if you don't speak English.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about it earlier today in our company chat. There's a bunch of people coming in from around the world for the LVO, which we have every year, but it's kind of cool that it's such a global, attendance. Seth, do we have any kind of things we want to wrap up the night's show with? Do we have any questions?
I think we've had a pretty fun-filled night. We've had a lot of fun discussion. Chat's still going strong, discussing memes and what team, what WTC team should be snapping up this French phenom that we've seen here. But I don't have any other thoughts for the night. Kicker, what thoughts do you have for the night?
I want you to know, Seth, the challenge has been declared. The gauntlet has been thrown. I'm taking you down in this painting competition, so we'll see what happens next week.
All right. See what tricks you have up your sleeve, Mister. Yeah. I stole a bit from Scions.
Just a few bits. Seth, all right. Take us away, man.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We really hope you enjoyed this episode of Signals from the Frontline. Have a great week, and we will see you next Wednesday.
Good night, guys.